Welcome TechbrothersIT. In this video, we are going to learn how to create a schema in Snowflake. So we will be talking about database, schema, and table creation in Snowflake. So let's take a look on definition first and then perform the demo. So what is a database? It's a top level container in Snowflake to store schemas, tables, views, etc. And then what is schema? It's a logical container inside the database to group related objects such as tables, views. And what is table? A structure that stores data in rows and columns. Now what we are going to do, first of all, we would like to create a database. So let me take you to the home here, and let's click on home, and then just expand this part. So and by click on show navigation, and here if you go to the databases here, you will see the databases. One of the database I created in last demo was a tester demo. Now we can go ahead and create a new database, and then under this database we can create the schemas. I'm going to use the SQL script to create that, so I'm going to close this. Go to home. So here is my worksheet called how to create a schema. So I'm going to click right there, and then it's going to show me all the script that I have. Now first of all, I would like to create a database. This is a high level container that contains schemas, and then schemas contain table and views and other objects. Now to create this database, you say create database if not exist, and then provide the name of the database. In my case, I'm going to call this company DB, and the comments are going to be demo database for Snowflake tutorial. So let's go ahead and execute that. So as of now, if you see, the database is just created now, and but if you notice right here, any virtual warehouse is not active. So you can see right here is suspended. So the virtual warehouse does not have to be active to create the database. Now we are gonna just hide these results by clicking here, and now we are gonna go to the next statement. So switch to the database for further operation. So if you notice here in the worksheet, right here it has selected the company DB as I just created here. So you can always go right here, and let's say if it was selected a test demo, then you can always go and change it if you want. So if I create a table now, it will be created in a test demo. If I will create a schema, it will be created in a test demo. So but my goal is to use the company DB. So I can simply run this statement, use a database company DB, or I can change from here. So I'm going to use the statement, and you're going to see it is a change right here. So that's the same thing. Either use a graphical interface to select your database in which you would like to work, or use the use statement to change the database scope. Now next is we are going to create two different schemas, and as you already know, these are logical containers inside the database. Now we have company DB, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to say create a schema if not exist, and the name of the schema is going to be the HR, and then we say comments schema for HR related objects or tables. Now let's go ahead and execute, and that's created. Now let me take you back here, and let's go to the data tab here, and if you refresh, we should see our company DB. Now let me click right here, and you are seeing HR schema right here. When we create this database, by default two schemas are created called information schema and public. So these are just holding the our system objects. So these are the views. They are like, hey, get me the list of the columns in this database for different tables. So they are default coming when we created database. Also there is a public, there is no object in it, so you can create whatever you are going to create without schema, that will be created here. Now let's go back to our worksheet here and open, and now we are going to go ahead and create another schema. Create schema if not exists sales. So let me run this one, and it's going to create a sales schema. Let's hide the results. You can always use this one, or you can simply click on results. Now if I want to see the schemas, then I can go back to the right here in the data and take a look on this right here. Let me refresh the database, and you can see two schemas, HR and sales. That's great. Now let's go to our worksheet, and we are going to work a little bit more to create the objects inside those schemas. So as the schemas are created, now I'm going to go ahead and create a table in the HR schema. So I'm going to call this create or replace table. So that's the keywords you will be using to create the table. And then you see that we have HR.employees. So that means I want to create this table employees inside the HR schema. And I have an employee ID, I have name, and I have position as a string. So these are different data types for the data I would like to save. So my employees IDs are going to be numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 and all that, and that's why I have an integer. Names are going to be string. You can know that like Amir, Shehzad or Ali or different names, so it's going to be string. And position is also going to be string, as this can be manager or some other position. So let's create this table right here. When we have selected the company DB here. Now if I will execute this, it's going to create this table. Okay, employees table successfully created, and now we can insert the data into this table. How we insert? We say insert into, and then we say schema of the table, and then the name of the table. So insert into the table, HR.employees, then we have small parentheses starting, and here we list all those columns. So here we have employee ID, name and position. So I just put that there, and then I close the parentheses. Then finally I say values, and after that I provide the values. If you notice that for the integer I don't have to put these single quotes around, but for the string values I have to put the single quotes around each of the value. So that's fine. So I have ID, then I have name, and then I have the position. After I close this small parenthesis, I have to provide a comma here, and keep doing it, and finally on the last line I have to put a terminator. So let's insert this data here, and now we should be all good here. So number of rows inserted, fine, 3. And now we can say select or view the data. We say select asterisk. That means select me all the columns such as employee ID, name and position. So I can filter for some of them. I don't want to see the columns, but in this case I would like to see all the columns. So I have asterisk from HR.employees. So now this is going to get the data we just inserted. So we have employee ID, we have name and position. Let's hide the results, and now we go to the next. And here if you notice, now we are creating the same another table in the sales schema. So create table, or you just say create or replace table here, and then sales.customers. Same way, customer ID, name and country, all the columns for which we would like to save the values in this table. I'm going to go ahead and create this table, and then we will insert some values. So you say insert into, then you have schema name dot table name, and then provide the list of the column names and say values, and then provide the values. Now let's insert this data, and now we are all good with the customer data. So we have inserted some rows here, and what we are going to do here, we are going to view the data. So we say select asterisk from sales dot customers. So you see we have customer ID, name and country. So that's fine. And now what we will do right here, so if I want to list, let me take you actually first to the databases here, and kind of show you visually in the UI how the table will look like. So we are in company DB, we are under the HR schema, and then we have tables, and now you can see right there is employees table. Same way, if I go to the sales, under the tables I have a customer table. Before that, when I did not have created a table, there was no tab of tables here. So let me show you in that example. Let's say we have test demo, and there wasn't any I don't have actually, right? Okay, public doesn't have any objects, so you can see there is no tables or anything like that. So once you create the tables, you are going to see tables, then you are going to create the views, you are going to see the views. Now in this case, let me take you back here and go to home, and we go right here, and this remember we have test demo. I can go ahead and create the table, and if I will not provide the schema, it's going to go under public. So now think I am removing this HR from here, and this is I've selected test DB demo here. If I will insert this, create this table, what's going to happen? So you see right there, employees table created, it should be in the test demo. So let me go back here and open that. Now if I will go back here, refresh and go under public, so let me see, tables appear, and now we have employees table. So that's what happened. When you don't provide schema, it's going to go under public schema. Let's go back here and go to our query, and here we are going to see the query. And now if I need to insert the data into this, if I will try something like this, let's say I created the table employees, and in the test demo, and it went under public. If I will try to insert this data into HR employees, it's going to give me error because I don't have HR schema in this database. So let me execute, and it's going to be like, hey, guess what, schema test demo.hr does not exist or not authorized. Okay, that's great. But if I will just remove the schema from here, now it's going to go into the table that's created under the public schema in a test demo database. So if I would like to do that, so I have to just simply remove these, and I can execute this together, and it should run insert and then show me the data. So it's working just great now. So let's go back here, and now if we want to list all the databases, we say show databases, easy peasy, and now it's going to show me all those databases. You can see right here I have company DB and test DB. Those are my databases that I created in just these demos. Now list all schemas in company. So you will say show schemas in a database and then database name. So easy and easy to remember as well. So you can see we have HR, information schema, public, and the sales. Those are 4 different schemas we have here. And then we can see more detail here. You have owner, you have a database name, you have comments, you have different options, and retention, role, and whatnot. So there is tons of information. List all tables in the HR schema is also possible. You will say show tables in schema, and then you will say database name dot schema name. So if you do that, you are going to get the list of those tables. In our case, it is only one table, HR.employees, and you can see right here created on name, and then more information about that table, number of rows, total bytes in that saved in that table or for that table, and then you have more information for that specific table. Okay, so list all tables in sales schema. That's the same thing, we just changed the schema here, and we know that is only one table as well. It's a customers table. So now we can close it, and now at the end you can go ahead and drop the database if you want. So if you drop the database, what happened? Will it drop all the schemas and tables and everything in it? Yes, it will. So if I'm going to go ahead, as you know that the company DB has HR and sales schemas, and then one table in each of that. So I'm going to go ahead and execute, and it's going to drop everything. So make sure you really mean it. If you don't really, you want to drop something else and you have dropped the database, you can be in trouble. So we have a company DB. If I refresh, it is gone. So you can see now company DB is not there anymore, and it has also deleted schemas table and every object in that database. So I hope you learned something out of this, how to create databases, how to create schemas, and how to create tables in those schemas. And I thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe my channel, and I will put the script in the description so you can use from there.